Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another episode of Play It Right TV. I am Diane Castillo with the Dean, Kenito Henson. And in this episode, we are super psyched to have with us some of the members of the triumphant women's national football team who just qualified for the World Cup. That's right, the World Cup of football. Making history, we have the McDaniel sisters, Olivia and Chandler. Hey. Cam Rodriguez, representing Ateneo. And Tara Shelton from DLSU. Okinito.
Yes,
We're even here, even.
Okay.
So the girls, these batch of girls are all here now in the Philippines, and I think everybody else is all over the place. Where is everybody?
Looking at the roster, it looks like it's a mix of talent from all over the world. I was counting the members of this team from the US, and I counted 12. Aside from that, there's someone who plays in Cyprus, someone who plays in Sweden, two play for Japan, and then the rest are from the Philippines, and that's an amazing mix. How do you guys get the chemistry together?
Chemistry is pretty good. Luckily, we've all known each other and have at least played with almost everyone once before we got together in India. So luckily, we had so much time to just up the chemistry. But I think it was pretty strong even at the very beginning.
Okay, Chandler, you scored the only goal against Thailand, and Thailand is ranked much higher than the Philippines in FIFA. You scored that goal in the 81st minute. How did that feel? And did you think that after scoring that goal for the Philippines, you were just going to play defensive the rest of the way and hold on to that lead? Or did you stay aggressive?
Scoring the goal, scoring any goal is such a great feeling. I can't really put it into words, but if you've scored one, you just know there's truly nothing better than scoring. Even scoring the winning goal is even better. And since we've faced Thailand so many times without a win, scoring against them and having the winning goal against them was the best feeling, because I think we all knew that if we got that win against Thailand, it would give us a better path to qualifying. And I think Thailand was a pretty good opponent. They were hard. I thought it was a very good game between the two of us. I think once we scored, I don't think we were like packing it in. I think we were still trying to be aggressive and just press still, but I wouldn't say we were downright still trying to score. I think we were still trying to slow the game down a little, but I still think we were trying to get the ball forward because we did want to win. So, and there was no time left.
Oh, I have to ask this question to the Pink Panther, Olivia McDaniel, always wearing pink from shirt to sock, and the way you were leaping at the ball, it's like you're a panther out there.
Yeah.
I noticed that you didn't play against Australia. The coach rested you. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. What was the purpose behind that? He wanted to keep you for Indonesia and for possibly that big game against Chinese Taipei. What was the strategy like?
At first when I heard I was being sad, I was a little sad because I wanted to get that test myself and go up against such a titan that is Australia. And but I think the strategy behind it was they told me they wanted to save my leg because I was kicking the crap out of the
Okay.
So I think they wanted to rest that and not have to go and put it through a bunch of kicking again against Australia, because I think our most important games were Thailand and Indonesia, and to put us on like Chandler said, a better path into the quarterfinals.
Diane?
Nice. No, Kanina, you were mentioning that this team has come from everywhere. They got together for a 3-month training camp in the United States in Irvine, California, which started in November. So you girls were practically eating, sleeping, football, and you got to know each other really well. So after this whole like euphoria of qualifying, where just give us a rundown. Where did everybody go? Cam, like, can you give us a rundown? So you guys are here, and there are about eight. There are about eight of you here, right?
Yes, for now. So yesterday was actually a very busy day for the team in a sense that it was the last day of the girls who had to fly back home to the U.S., the ones who visited the Philippines and went back home. So it was a pretty sad day to say goodbye to them finally, and then
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the rest of us here are all over Metro Manila, and I was in a flight with Serena and Q who went back to Japan, and like you mentioned earlier, we had Katrina go back to Sweden, and then the rest of the
Mm.
girls back to the US.
Wow. So Tara, what's it like? Like since qualifying for the World Cup, I know you girls are like ultra competitive and you can't wait to get back to training. But talking about the reality that you've made it is incredible achievement. How has it changed your life so far? Like, do you have like a million people texting you or like messaging you? Like all of I want to ask all of you that because it's been how long has it been? How long has it been, Kenito? Like just over a week, no?
Over a week ago. Yep.
Yeah,
When we were all
Tara.
excitedly watching TV. Dara.
For me, it's great to see my friends who aren't even really in the football world like congratulate me and say they're proud of me.
Mm,
That's awesome to hear. And I don't think it's fully sunk in just because I've still been able to be with the some of my team members still. I think
mm-hmm.
once I go back to the States and I'm back home, not surrounded by the team, I think then I'll be able to process it even more. So right now I'm just enjoying it and just being just really grateful for everything that's happened over the last few months.
Yeah. What about Olivia, Chandler, and Cam? How was it? How was your life changed in the last week?
I mean, for me personally, it hasn't really changed that much. I mean, I think I just got maybe a few more Instagram followers, not
A
that
few more?
Just a few.
Sure, a lot more.
but the support from our family back home and everything has just been so amazing, and the support from everyone in general has been crazy amazing. And I think, like Tara said, once we get back home with our family and be able to let the dust settle a little bit, I think then it'll definitely start to hit us and be like, okay, we did that, and then it's coming up again.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a little strange, I guess, to have even just people message you or just say like, we look up to you and thank you so much for everything you've done. Because I mean, I think the whole team could just say we were just doing something we love. So it's really strange to have all these people like with all these feelings towards us because like, I mean, we looked up to the people we were playing against. Like we were playing against Sam Kerr and G.
Right.
So it's really weird to have little kids think that way about all of us. So I don't know. It's kind of surreal. I think it's a cool feeling, but I don't know. It's also kind of weird.
I definitely agree with that. Like we
Yep.
would have, I would personally receive messages of like from our very ever growing football community, and
Mm-hmm.
it really warms my heart to see the girls and boys who have been supporting us. Like for example, our tournament last time was in the SEA Games that they are still supporting to this day, and many more have followed. On my end, it's been pretty busy just because I make it a point to really, I guess, converse with the people who send me some messages. It's been pretty busy, but it really just warms my heart to see everyone, like the fans who have been there when, like since day one or whenever their day one was years ago. They're still here and they feel like they have been with us in this journey. And I think that's the main point of why we play, to sort of engage in them and also in that way and have them invest their support and their time for us and the future of it.
Well, Cam, talking about years ago, Palarong Pambansa, 2009 and 2010, you were the MVP. From there, you went on to play for the senior team. You've been playing for the senior team since, or no, for the national team at least, since 2011.
That's a long
Um,
time.
yeah, and in this AFC Asian Cup, you played off the bench against Australia and Indonesia. Um, how did that feel? First going up against Australia, and then going up against Indonesia. I mean, those two games were like miles apart. For Australia, we were down 2-0, right? At the half. We held them scoreless in the second half, but Indonesia was a breeze. We beat them 6-0. How did that feel for you? Especially coming from those Palarong Pambansa days and seeing yourself at the biggest stage, and next year, even a bigger stage, the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, I think growing up and growing through the Philippine football system, being from Palarong Pambansa, growing through RIFA to the youth national team. Actually, I did start with the national team at in 2009 in the under 16s.
Oh,
I really
okay.
have been there with Ina in the start. So
Palacios?
Ina Palacios, yes,
Uh-huh.
we started together in the youth national team, and to go up against or to be in such a global stage right now, it feels sort of like a full circle. Like this is what we've been hoping and dreaming of, and working for through the past few years. And I think I think it's sort of like a culmination. It's both a culmination and a beginning. So it's a culmination of all the hard work throughout the past 10 years of not just myself, but
Yeah.
all of my teammates before. I mean, I was teammates with Mariel Benitez. She was my roommate. She was the longtime captain of the national team. And I was
Sure,
with
yeah,
Lalay
Benitez.
and Tasha, really all the ates or ates.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it's a sort of a culmination of what, like all the work that they've given to reach this point, and at the same time it's like a beginning of what we can do to keep continuing and hopefully in the future produce also even better players, and that they that making it to the World Cup would be a standard for them, and going up against these Australia, like the likes of Australia, be a standard, something that is expected and can compete and beat against them. Yeah.
Well, what an amazing journey. Tara, you're one of the youngest in the team. You're 20 years old, am I right? Okay. You still haven't played UAAP football for LaSalle, but I think that's coming soon. But you did play for the Philippines in the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. Now, in the last two Southeast Asian Games, our Philippine football team finished out of the podium. I think now there are high hopes that the Philippines will make it to the podium this year in the SEA Games. And for the first time ever, the Philippines is hoping to play football in the Asian Games. How excited are you, Tara, in making even more history for the Philippines, coming Southeast Asian Games and the Asian Games?
I'm so happy. I couldn't be more happier. Just like Cam said, qualifying for World Cup is the peak of it all over the last 10 years of Philippine football, and now we have a chance, an opportunity to go even farther. So I'm so happy. Yeah.
I know that your middle name is Borromeo. Are you in any way related to Ali Borromeo, who used to play for the men's national team? No?
I don't know if I am. I'm not familiar with
Okay.
that player, but my mom's name is Almi Borromeo, if that has
Okay.
any connection.
I'm
But
sure
yeah,
there must be some connection there. Football
yeah,
is the connection. Okay, my next
correct.
question is for Olivia again. And I want to go back to that Chinese Taipei penalty shootout. All right. So Chinese Taipei was up 3-2 in penalties. As the keeper, you have to make a choice. You either lunge to the left or lunge to the right. Okay. The Taipei shooter, if I may say, put the ball to the left, you went to the right. But that ball hit the post and it bounced out of the goal. And I thought that was the break that we really needed. And how did you feel? How did you feel? Was that heaven sent? Did you feel at that point, God is giving this to us? Hallelujah.
Yes,
Is that how you felt?
absolutely right on the money with that one. I said that was Jesus right there, and that was the turning point. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna need to pull my weight now. I gotta do something now. Yeah,
Okay.
it was. I was like, we needed that one.
But Olivia, they could have gone up 4-2. They really could have gone up 4-2, and the Philippines would have been in such a terrible bind. If the Philippines went down 4-2 to Chinese Taipei, I mean, all they needed was just one more. And
Yeah.
but you had two incredible saves, and in between those saves, you took your spot at the penalty area to hit that goal. So not only did you have those two incredible saves in regulation, but you had those two amazing saves in the penalty shootout, and you put one goal in yourself. Um, how good did that feel? I mean, all the weight on your shoulders to do all of that. I thought it was incredible, Olivia. I mean, to tell you the truth, I mean, I said, this is the Pink Panther. This is what she lives for. What was that experience like? Please tell us.
It was just kind of a whirlwind. I mean, I just was focused on the next thing in the next moment that was happening. So if one PK didn't go my way or I went the wrong way, I just had to focus on the next one and again until I got one. And to be completely honest, I was rewatching them again and I was like a little off from center, like on every single PK. So I put myself in a bad position first of all. But I couldn't even comprehend what was happening. I didn't even know that it was my turn to go up and shoot. I forgot that I was put in the lineup, to be completely honest. I was so worried about saving them, and I just had to make sure that we at any point or at any moment we had to win this game. And if it was going to be the PK shootout in the first 90 or in the next 30, we were going to win this game no matter what. And I had to do anything I could to make that possible.
I knew she'd do it.
Chandler, yeah, I wanted to ask that question to you. Your sister was in the hot spot. Not only was she the keeper, but she also took that PK. Um,
Mhm.
you didn't have your rotation in the penalty kicks, but you certainly were being reserved, I think, for the later stages in the rotation because during the qualifiers for the Asian uh, Cup, you did score against Hong Kong, and you
Mhm.
played a major role when we beat Nepal in giving that assist and making a score. So, very clearly, you're one of the top strikers of our country. But seeing your sister in the spotlight, um, how did that feel? Did it make you even more nervous than if you were the one taking the kick?
Um,
What do you think, Jen?
I know that I deal with pressure really well. I would say that I'm pretty good at it. I think Olivia maybe isn't as good as I am, but I just I knew she. I mean, I've obviously not seen Olivia in the goal almost my whole life, so I had no doubt that she would at least save one PK. I wasn't even worried about her taking one. I said she should have been in the lineup to begin with. She takes really well PKs. I mean, my dad made sure that we can both shoot. Olivia could pretty much do everything a field player can do, except for running. But yeah, I wasn't worried. I just pulled her aside and I was like, just do you. So I had no doubt in my mind that she'd save our butts when we needed her to, and she's just glad that everyone else now sees how great she is. Because I always knew, but I had no doubts. I
That's
Nice.
ran.
great. Diane?
I love the confidence of the team.
Yeah,
Uh,
I really do.
yeah, I think it was Serena right after you won, and she said, we just came in here believing. And for me, that's really amazing. And speaking to Coach Allen, he also was very, very. I mean, he was so proud of the fact that you guys worked so hard, and that you went there with an incredible positive mindset. Now, did that is that just coming from each one, or how much did the coaching staff have to do with it? Like, I would like to know, what were they saying to you day in, day out, in all the twice a day trainings that you were doing in the US for the last 3 months, and also all the way in India. That really, it's he sort of like was able to bring out the best in you guys, right? Like you look like a team that was really on a mission and just like, like you said, Olivia, you didn't even you were just like so focused. Tara, what was I mean, how much was the coach talking to you? Like what would he say?
Well, I remember at the beginning, before camp even started, we had little meetings with the coaching staff, and they wanted to know what our values were, what our goals were for the team and for this campaign. And I think that was a big part of making sure we were all aligned as a team, and
Yeah.
making sure that we had our own values and that those were going to be aligned with what the coaching staff would want. And I think overall their belief in us and their support overall just made it so much more cohesive in our belief in our goals.
Yeah. Do you want well and then right after you guys qualified, you had a super long team meeting. May I know what were some of the words said there?
Right after the game, are you talking about?
Right after well, I know no. Right after you had already lost to South Korea, but still before you were gonna leave each other in India. The post tournament meeting.
Oh, I see. So that was a sort of like a wrap up of the whole tournament and campaign, and then just sort of trying to refocus on what was next because we did achieve our goal, and then just sort of putting it in our minds of what we wanted to do as a group and moving forward.
Yeah. I'm assuming one of your goals is to win the gold in the SEA Games, right?
Yeah, I think for all of the tournaments coming up before the World Cup, it's an opportunity for us to show what we can do and show how our process can only grow from here.
Yeah, galing. So you have the games, and then you have the ASEAN Federation Cup in
Mhm.
June. You have the Asian Games in September. So you really raised the bar for women's football. What is it? Do you have? I know that the contracts are still being worked out with Coach Allen and all that, but do you have any idea as to when you're gonna start working again, or you're just gonna like be training on your own for a bit first?
Yeah, that's the big question in terms of coaching staff and next steps. It's, we'll see. We don't know yet. I know as much as everyone else does, but I think, yeah, on our own and individual levels, we're just doing what we need to do to get there.
Did you rest at all now? Like no physical. I know I saw Olivia was boxing today.
Yeah.
You were?
You
I
a-
did.
Okay,
I-
boxing who?
I've been-
She was with a boxing trainer, like hitting the mitts, right?
Oh my gosh.
I've been eating too much in the last couple of days, so I thought I needed to work out in.
Yeah. We've just kind of been on vacation mode.
Yeah.
We were all giving ourselves a week or two,
Sure.
maybe.
Well needed relaxing break.
And then we'll figure out what we have to do.
Yeah.
But I think we've all deserved a little rest
Absolutely.
time.
For
No.
sure, for sure. Well, your next competition will be the Southeast Asian Games in May. So, what are the plans? When are you guys gonna regroup for training camp? Has that been talked about?
No.
No, not yet. Oh, okay.
I'm sure there are plans right now. I think
Yeah.
after going at it for like 4 months, I think even the coaching staff are on vacation mode. But definitely the idea is to really continue as soon as possible. That's why, like even before departing, I think the main we were all on the same page in terms of there are things like outside our control, but what's within our control is what we're like responsible and accountable for. So
Yeah,
whatever
so-
that would mean, then that's on
Yeah,
us.
the SEA Games begin in May, so I guess sometime in March, that will be next month. You guys are probably going to be regrouped for another camp. Yeah, that'll be soon. Now, I made a mistake earlier in saying that we lost to Australia 2-0. I want to correct myself. We did lose to them 4-0, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I noticed that Tara and Cam played in that game against Australia. Looking at the stats, um, in terms of shots, Australia had 33, the Philippines had 3. What was the strategy like in that game? I mean, Australia is one of the world's top teams. Were we going to play defensive? Were we going to try to limit the number of goals that were going to score against us? Because holding them down to 4, I thought was a pretty good achievement. Let me ask you, Tara and Cam, you guys played against Australia. Plus, these Australian girls, they play Aussie rules. They play pretty physical. So, did you guys get bumped around by the Australians? How did that feel, Cam?
Yeah, I think we entered the game knowing that they'd be the more dominant team in terms of possession, in terms of shots. Obviously, they have like really world class elite players. Most of their roster probably play professional football, so we knew in terms of in that respect, they were at an advantage. So we came in knowing that we had to be very good defensively, but we
Mhm.
also knew that we were defending not just to not lose, but really to just manage the game and make sure that when we have opportunities up front, we take it. And I think in the first 5 minutes, we were able to show that we could take our chances. I mean, Cha
Mhm.
had a good shot on goal, which came from being like defensively sound, and we were successful in that respect in the first half, wherein we held them to nil, which I think was an achievement in itself. And we noticed that towards the end of the half as well, they were getting pretty frustrated. So I guess in that sense, we had to be more careful in terms of managing ourselves and our emotions too, because we didn't want any like maybe fouls near our goal or like just opportunities for them to score. We just let them be frustrated and then just focus on the next half. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. I'd say I'm very happy and proud of the team and just going against them because it's really the style of play, the speed of pass. It's so much faster. It's like literally the next level. So that's what we aspire to. That's where we want to be.
So
Tara?
that was scoreless in the first half, right, against Australia.
Yeah.
No, neither team scored. Um, Tara, playing against Australia, were they pushing you guys around? How
Yes,
physical
they
were they?
definitely were. Like Cam said, I would say they were starting to get a lot more reactive in the second half, and
Mhm.
we gave them a good fight. And part of that was knowing going into the game that our team principles wouldn't change, and still, of course, keeping our emotions intact and staying on their level because we knew we can.
Okay,
Nice.
now earlier, I asked Chandler about how she felt about Olivia being on the hot spot and you showing her a lot of confidence. I want to turn the tables now. Olivia, how did you feel in that Thailand game? I was looking at the stats, and in terms of possessions, um, they had pretty much control of the match. In terms of passes, they had 513. We had 299. Their passing accuracy was 72%. Ours was 59%. Um, Looks like they really had control of that game. And that was a critical game for us because that sort of like broke the ice for us. And your sister came through. And so when that happened, what did you tell your sister after scoring that goal? And she had played a major role in getting the Philippines to qualify in the tournament proper in the first place. In the same way that she gave you confidence in that Chinese Taipei shootout, what did you tell your sister?
Well, I mean, we're so far apart on the field, so I really didn't get to say who she scored. But in my head, I was saying, "Okay, let's go get another one." I'm very confident in Chandler, as she's very confident in me. I've seen her play my entire life, and if there's anything she can do, it's score goals and hit the crap out of a ball. So I think, I mean, a goal is a goal, and if it goes in the back of the net, then that's all we need. And I just think that she, beginning from the start of the game when we had that goal offside, she was a part of. She's always a part of making important roles on the field, and I just think that if it was going to come at some point, it was going to be from her. She was going to be involved in some sort of way. She always involves herself in any sort of way. So I think that after that we finally broke through and got through that Thailand game, I thought another one's going to come. It's coming.
Wow. What about you, Chandler? How long have you been playing with Olivia? Did you guys grow up playing soccer together, and then University of Wisconsin at Milwaukee? Did you guys play together on the varsity? And
Yeah.
what was that bonding like? Considering that you've been, playing the game all your lives together.
Yeah, we started like I was 6 and Liv was 7, and luckily, with how the ages work out in California, we were able to be on the same team even though we were a year apart. And we actually were together all through high school for club, always on the same team. But actually, for college, we both started at different schools, and then Olivia ended up transferring to Milwaukee. And when I decided I wanted to transfer, I was like, I'm going to go with Liv. I mean, so we've been together our whole lives. No one, I think, knows each other on the field better than us. I mean, I know exactly where she's going to go. I know exactly what shots she can or can't stop, and I think Olivia could say the same about me. So we've been playing together forever. Going to continue playing for as long as possible and just do it together. Makes it better. We enjoy it much more.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you like about Olivia, and also the one thing you don't like about her?
Ooh. I like that Olivia can kick it really far, but I don't like that I'm the one who has to get it.
That's a good one. What about you,
Yeah.
Olivia? What's the
Um,
one thing you like about Chandler, and the one thing you don't like about her?
I love that Chandler is able to hit the ball so well, and she has a really hard shot. But I hate that I'm the one who has to block it during training.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
So fun to be playing on the field together. And I understand your brother is also in the national. Is he in the U23?
He's in the player pool. They haven't announced the U23s yet, but fingers crossed. But we know he'll make it because he's just as good as us.
So,
So-
for us, we're a tennis family. We grew up all four sisters playing tennis. So it seems like in your family, it's all football. And I know that your parents were involved in the last decade of the U.S. training camp. How did your family start in football? Like,
My dad grew up playing soccer. He didn't go to college or anything, but when we were deciding sports, I sucked at dance. So my dad was like, time to put her in soccer. And then we all just followed. So we're all here. Even our youngest brother, Declan, he's 8. He now decided that he wants to start playing since he sees all three of us. And I mean, I think yeah. So he'll come about. You guys will get him eventually, but I think he needs a little bit more time.
so
But,
there's 4 of you, 2 girls and 2 boys.
yes. And I think that it's just brought us all together. I mean, we're a super close-knit family, and these experiences that Olivia, myself, and Finn have just bring us even closer. Our parents are always super supportive, and our dad even trains us, so we're always together. So
Yeah.
it's a lot, but it's fun. I think it's just the right fit for our family. I don't think we could do anything else.
Yeah, so Coach Allen was saying, while he said you guys had a massive achievement, it's also going to be a massive leap to be able to compete in the World Cup, because I know you girls have said you don't want to just show up, but you wanna, you wanna win. So, and you're playing against teams that like the US and all that who have been playing in the World Cup for years. So, it is in football, it takes months and years. So I know how hard your training was, hearing about it. I mean, can you guys work even harder? Because it seems you're going to have to push a lot harder to be able to really do what you want to achieve at the World Cup. And Coach Allen said most of these players are football players, like almost all of them, and a lot of you are working, going to school. So are you all like willing to do the time and have more push?
I think we'll put this much work in, and now that we've qualified, I think that we're all willing to work 3 times as hard. I think we're all willing to make the sacrifices needed because, I mean, this has been every player, like anyone who's played soccer has dreamt of going to the World Cup. And since we actually did it, I mean, it's literally a dream come true. And not everyone gets to go. So it's something truly special. And I know that everyone on the team is willing to do whatever it takes for us to not only show well, but to also compete and to help the team succeed.
Yeah, and it's quite to, I love your spark fight on the field talaga. I mean, I even saw that you got a lot of congratulatory messages from our men's team, from the Ascals. How did that? You got messages from Neil Etheridge, from Shrocky, right?
Yeah, Shocky sent, I think, me a message, and I think it's pretty special seeing the support from both ends. And I guess I just want to shout out to Shocky because it wasn't just for this tournament where he would, personally message to wish us luck, but even in previous tournaments, he would. So thank you, Shock.
So
So yeah, hopefully it will inspire more than just our counterparts, but also all the other Filipino players in the Philippines and around the world. Because
let's talk about the World Cup for a bit here. I know all of you girls have your idols. I mean, women football players around the world who are your heroes. If you were to choose one player whom you'd like to play against in the World Cup, who would that player be, and what country would she be from? I'll start with you, Tara. In a perfect world, what
I'll,
country would you like to play against in the World Cup? Because there's going to be a lot of draws. There will be 32 teams, so it's
mhm.
possible that you could play any team.
Yeah.
But if you have like one hero,
Hmm.
one female football hero whom you'd like to be on the same field with as a moment that you will cherish forever, who would that hero be? Do you have anyone in
I would
mind?
say Miedema from the Netherlands. I think it'd be a really
All
cool
right.
experience to go against a top player like that. That
Wow.
would be mine.
What about you, Cam? Anyone?
yeah, so um, mine would be Mana Iwabuchi. So she was actually in the Asian Cup. She's in the Japan national team, and she just inspires me because uh, she's not the biggest player, she's not the flashiest player, but she's so effective, she's so technical, and I know we won't be able to go against them in the World Cup just with how like the format is, and maybe that's
Mhm.
like better for us. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I would love to meet her. I was pretty sad to maybe not be able to cross paths with her. But yeah, it would be awesome. And sorry, I'll add another one. Alexa Putellas from Spain. She has really shown this year. Yeah, she really shined bright this year, winning like the Ballon d'Or and all of the other special awards. And she's from Spain. She's pretty cool.
Okay, you,
And
you have
yeah,
to you have to repeat those names again. Who was that player from Japan? Mana?
Manu Iwabuchi. Yeah, and
Okay.
Alexa Putellas from Spain.
All right. Okay, what about the McDaniel sisters? Any dream matchups you have in your mind? A
Yes.
player whom you'd like to be in the same field with?
Yes.
Chan.
Well, um, obviously, I already got to play against G, so that was pretty cool. But I think my number one would be Erin Cuthbert from Scotland. She plays for Chelsea with Sam Kerr and G. But I remember watching the last World Cup with her, and I just thought she was so good. And I mean, it was Scotland's I don't know if they had
I think it
been.
was their
I think it was
first
their first
World Cup.
time, and she was such an impact player from 20 years old. And I remember just being like, "Dang, I wish that could be me." But now I have the chance for that to happen. So when we qualified, I remember calling my dad and was like, "If we play her, I'm gonna try to get her jersey."
Wow. What is her name? Erica?
Erin Cuthbert.
Okay.
From-
Wow. Okay, from Scotland. And then Liv.
I mean, matchups with me. I mean, there's so many brilliant forwards and like offensive players in the women's game, but I think my dream it's been achieved a little bit. She didn't really test me in the Korea game, but Soyeon Ji, I think she's just a phenomenal player, and she didn't get any shots against me in Korea, and they pulled her out a little early. But I mean, I saw her goal against Australia. It was a top bins. It was beautiful, and I just think out of anyone to test me, it would be her. And I know we probably won't play them again when we get to the World Cup, but I mean, she's just incredible.
Wow. What a nice array of stars coming from all four of you. Diane, your final questions before we wrap this up. We're almost up to 41 minutes just talking about football and talking about their feelings and this euphoria that has captivated the entire country.
I'm just so happy to hear, when dreams come true, sports dreams come true. It's so, I super love it. But my last question would be, to each of you, tell us one thing about yourself that shows that you're Pinoy talaga. Pinay talaga. Something you like, something you do, or a word kasi, di ba? What's the most Filipino thing about you? Just a light question. I'm going to start with a blondie.
I know. I talked about this earlier today. I love durian.
Oh,
What?
I love it.
Does. I don't know why.
Nobody else likes it. When we came to the Philippines a couple years ago, we went and picked some and ate some, and me and my mama Lynn were the only ones who ate it, and she was so proud of me, and I was like,
So you don't like it.
Durian.
No.
Oh my god. What about the smell of that thing?
Yeah, it's gross.
nah,
I didn't like it.
if you get past the smell, it's good. I like
I
it.
love
It really is. It really is. Yeah.
What about you, Chandler?
I don't know. What would you say? I feel like, I eat a lot of Filipino foods. My grandma's always feeding me, so I feel like maybe I have a Filipino appetite.
What like to eat? Ano yung kinakain mo?
Oh,
What?
I like sinigang. You could pretty much put almost anything in front of me and I'll eat it.
Except durian.
Not durian.
I tried it, but I didn't like it.
Okay.
Okay. And Cam lives in the Philippines, but what would you say when you're overseas? What do you like to show most about your being Filipino?
Oh my! I already had an answer for previously. What do I like to do?
Okay, so yeah,
Can I answer the other question instead?
Okay,
Because
yeah.
I wanted to showcase my skills. So I am an expert. I eat with my hands, and I like to peel my shrimps, and I peel it for Liv. They can vouch for me.
Oh, you peel it
Yeah,
for your
I think-
teammates?
Cam feels our shrimp.
She does.
Your eggs, your boiled eggs. So I think it's very Pinoy to eat with your hands because mas masarap eh. Like you enjoy food more.
Right.
If you're able to
Definitely.
eat with it. So
Especially if you're in a boodle fight, right?
yeah, we still have
Yeah.
to do that as a team. That would be cool.
Yeah,
But-
that would be nice.
I might have to sit next to you, Chan, Liv, because there's a lot of hand actions going there.
Okay.
O ikaw, Tara.
I would say the the most Pinoy thing about me is I love to entertain and I like to dance and sing and be playful and also always have a smile on my face. I think that's a really big part of being Pinoy also.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. That smile, because you brought smiles on the face of every Filipino when you guys qualified the Philippines for the World Cup. The first time in history that any Philippine football team, men or women, qualified for the biggest football stage in the world. And for that, congratulations, guys. You guys you guys made the country proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
More way. Keep hard. Thanks for being on the show, and we hope to talk to you again.
Thanks very much, guys. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank
Thank you for
you.
sharing.
Bye.
And thank you for the fun answers. We really enjoyed being with us. Thanks again.
I mean, I'm still really like amazed. I mean, at what they've achieved. I mean, it was okay. I mean, I wanted to say that I also admire their patience because parang dumaan sila sa butas ng karayom. Like they really had to go step by step. It was so tough, but team effort, belief, amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, and we're ranked in the 60s in the FIFA ladder, and we beat Thailand and Chinese Taipei. Both of them are in the 30s. So that's a long leap. There's a wide disparity between our standing and the standing of Thailand and Chinese Taipei. And we beat those two teams to qualify for the World Cup. And, losing to South Korea 2-0, that wasn't bad. Losing
Right.
to Australia 4-0, that wasn't bad either. And smashing Indonesia 6-0, that had to be something. These girls are special, and they did it because love for country. They did it because they wanted to do it for all Filipinos all over the world. Congratulations.
Mabuhay. All right, well, we'll see you again on another episode of Play It Right TV. This is Diane Castillejo.
And this is Kinito Henson.
This is Play It Right.